Now this question says, in a small college, students are allowed to take only one specialization. Traditionally, only two specializations are offered, science and arts. Students enrolled in specialize in science must take physics and mathematics subjects, while students enrolled in specialize in arts must take economics and political science. Students enrolled in science are not allowed to take either economics or political science, while students enrolled in arts are not allowed to take physics or maths. Right? So very simple situation. I mean, we just need to treat it like a DI question, separate. If you feel comfortable, you can create a table or you can simply start solving. I always find it easier if I just do it like this: science, arts, right? In science, we have physics and maths. In arts, we have economics and political science, right? That's it. Now, enrolled in this, recently the college has started a third specialization called Math Eco. So, Math Eco, okay. Take economics and maths. So, basically we are taking economics from here and maths from here. Eco and maths, right? Now, these students would not be allowed to take physics or political science. When the college opens this new specialization for enrollment, it allows students originally enrolled in science or arts to switch to Math Eco. Okay, so there is a situation here like this. There is an initial situation and there is a final situation. In the initial situation, there is nobody in Math Eco because that did not exist. Okay. Now, from among the students originally enrolled in arts, 20 switched to Math Eco. So, suppose it was X. From this, 20 are gone. So, this becomes X minus 20. That becomes 20. 20 people have switched there. So, 20 people from this have joined Math Eco. And this becomes X minus 20. And at this point, it says this makes the number of science students twice the number of art students. So if I assume the number of science students to be y is equal to 2 times x minus 20. This is one relation or equation that we have. Then after this, from this situation, among the students who originally enrolled in science, 45 students switched to Math Eco. So from this, 45 join here. So plus 45, and this number becomes y minus 45, okay. This makes the number of art students, so x minus 20 becomes twice the number of science students. So the other equation will be x minus 20 equal to 2 times y minus 45. Just very carefully and simply solve this equation. These two equations, right? So y is equal to 2x minus 40. You put it here. So x minus 20 equal to 2 times, in place of y, put 2x minus 40. This is 2x minus 40. So put in place of y 2x minus 40, it becomes 2x minus 40 minus 45. So in place of y, we have put 2x minus 40. Just open it and solve it. That's it. Nothing else has to be done. So 2 into 2, 4x minus x, that is 3x is equal to 40 and 45 is 85 into 2. 170 goes to the other side. So 170 minus 20, that is 150. So x is equal to 50. If I put x equal to 50, 50 minus 20 is 30 into 2, 60. So y is equal to 60. So the original numbers we get from here, x is 50, y is 60. X is 50, y is 60. And this is 0. If you want, you can calculate the total. Total is 60 plus 50, that is 110 initially. What about the later on situation? 60 minus 45, that is 15. 50 minus 20, that is 30. 20 plus 45 is 65. Okay. 15 plus 30 is 45 plus 65, that is 110. So we have got every number in place. Okay. Let's look at the question. The question is, in total, how many students from among the originally enrolled in science or arts are now taking economics? Such a beautiful question. You just have to read it very carefully and follow the data very carefully. Economics. Economics now 30. Economics now 65. So 30 plus 65, 95 people are studying economics. Okay. So 95, option B is the correct answer of the question. people make a mistake that they forget this 30. These 30 people are still studying economics. These 20 people are now studying economics, and these 45 new people are also studying economics. Okay. So total 95 is the answer of this question. Okay. Now this question says the cost of running a movie theater is rupees 10,000 per day plus additional 5,000 per show. So the cost is given. The theater has 200 seats. A new movie released on Friday. There were 3 shows. Okay, so where the ticket prices were 250 for each of the first 2 shows and 200 for the late night show. So the prices are given, the numbers are given. Very simple table formation would be the most helpful process. Okay, so let's say first show, second show, third show. Okay, the prices are 250 rupees per ticket. 250 rupees per ticket. Okay, and 200 rupees per ticket, right? Then we have the number of seats. The number of seats in each show, it is 200, 200, 200. Now the point is, these are seats available. How many seats are used? Because seats used, because the tickets will be sold only for the seats used, right? And the amount of collection will be calculated, or the revenue will be calculated on the basis of the number of seats used. Okay? So the question here, it says that the total occupancy overall is 80%. You see, the total number of available seats, all 3 shows together, that should be 600. Now 80% of this 600 is 480. So during the whole day, all 3 shows combined together, number of used seats is 480. So that means the number of sold tickets is 480, right? Now, we want to find the maximum amount of profit. How do we do that? If the profit is to be maximized, the cost is fixed. 10,000 per day, 5,000 per show. You see, the total cost is going to be 10,000 for the day and 3 into 5,000 for the shows. So 15 and 10, 25,000 is the cost, which is the fixed cost. So to maximize profit, we need to have maximum revenue, maximum collection. Maximum collection will happen when the ticket price is higher and the number of seats also used is also higher. So how do we distribute this 480 over these 3 shows? Give more seats to that situation where we have price higher. So we can use all these 200 seats. We can use all these 200 seats. Total 400 we have used in first 2 shows to maximize the revenue, okay? Because the price is higher here. Jahan price zyada, wahan we use more number of seats. We sell more tickets. Total we have to sell 480 tickets. 200 here, 200 here. 400 gone. That means 80 more tickets are sold in this one. So the total amount collected will be how much? 250 into 200. 250 into this 200, not this one, right? Though they are the same, but we have to make sure that we are using these 200 seats. So 250 into 200, that is equal to 50,000. Okay, so in the first show, we are getting a revenue of 50,000. In the second show, 250 into 200. 250 into 200, that is 50,000. So from the second show also, we are getting 50,000. But from the third show, 200 into 80. 200 into 80, and that is 16,000. So the total revenue or the total selling price is 50,000, 50,000, 1 lakh and 16,000. So total sales is 1,16,000 rupees. So the profit would be the difference of these two. Okay, sales minus the cost. 1,16,000 minus 25,000, that is 91,000. Good profit, right? 91,000 rupees is the total profit. 1,16,000 minus 25,000. Okay, so 91,000 rupees is the maximum possible profit because we have taken the maximum possible revenue. The cost is fixed. So answer of this question is rupees 91,000. Do we have that option? Option D is rupees 91,000 according to these 5 options. This is the correct answer. right? This one is a very nice question, very interesting question from time, speed, distance. It says a flight traveling to a destination 11,200 kilometers away was supposed to take off at 6:30 a.m. Due to bad weather, the departure of the flight got delayed by 3 hours. Okay. The pilot increased the average speed of the aeroplane by 100 km per hour from the initially planned average speed to reduce the overall delay to 1 hour. Oh, so he covered 2 hours. Okay. The flight was late by 3 hours and they reached at the destination 1 hour late. That means the guy or the aeroplane has covered 2 hours. What does that mean? It has taken 2 hours less than usual. That's what it means. जितना लगना चाहिए था उससे 2 घंटे कम लगाया, right? अच्छा, if they had covered 3 hours, they would have reached on time, right? Okay, if they had covered 3 hours, they would have reached on time. Okay, so initial delay 3 hours, final delay 1 hour. That means they have covered 2 hours. That means they have taken 2 hours of travel time lesser than usual. Had the pilot increased the average speed by 350 km per hour from the initial planned average speed, what would have the flight, when would have the flight reached its destination? All right, simple situation. This is a simple plain question of distance equal to speed into time. There are multiple ways of doing it. I'll explain 2 of the ways. One is distance equal to speed into time. This is the original situation. In the second case, I'm going to take 2 hours less and the speed is going to increase by 100 kilometers per hour. So S plus 100, right? This is still the same distance. Now here you see the distance value is given 11,200. 11,200. Here also it is 11,200. Now what you have to do is factorize 11,200 in such a manner that, or consider 2 cases such that the difference of these 2 values is 100, clearly visible, and the difference of these 2 values is 2, right? Okay, just for example, if I give you a situation, we have to break 11,200 into 2 parts in 2 situations such that the difference of these 2 values is 100 and the difference of these 2 values is 2. Okay, think about it. Now 11,200 is actually, if you factorize, it is 1600 into 7. 16 into 100 into 7. Think about this. Wow, such a beautiful situation. You see, the difference of these 2 should be 2. Okay, so I think very clearly is visible 16 into 700, and the same thing can be taken as 800 into 14, right? So now you see 700 into 16 and 800 into 14. What we did was we just did a little bit of realignment, little bit of readjustment of the factor. So here we can see the difference is 100, speed has been increased by 100 and the time has been reduced by 2 hours. What did we do? I repeat, we just factorized 11,200, all possibilities. We got 2 of them where the difference of 2 of them is 100 and difference of these 2 is 2. That's it. Okay, right. So this gives us the original speed as 700. Original speed as 700 kilometers per hour and original time as 16 hours. But time is not required, speed is required. Okay. Why? Because there is an increment of speed of 350 kilometers per hour. So the new speed, okay, should be, original planned average speed is 700 plus 350, that is 1050 kilometers per hour. So the new time is going to be 11,200 divided by 1050. Just very patiently simplify this. 1120 by 105. You can cancel by 7 15 times. 7 would be how much? 7 15 times. So 7 is 160 and that is 32 by 3 hours. That is 10 2 by 3 hours. That is 10 hours 40 minutes. 2 by 3 hours is 40 minutes. Now here, one mistake that again people make is that they forget that flight was 3 hours delayed. So already it was supposed to start at 6:30. From there it was 3 hours late. From there it is taking 10 hours and 40 minutes. Right? 3 hours. So 6:30 plus 3 hours, 9:30 plus 10 hours, that is 7:30 plus 40 minutes, that is 8:10 p.m. So the arrival time will be 8:10 p.m. Option C is the correct answer. Right? Now this is one way. Now here what we have done is we have used factors. So if you are good with factors, this will be a really good situation for you. Right? There is another way of doing it, making equation and solving it. Even in making equation, the important thing is which variable do you take. Usually people take speed as the variable. Now here you need to understand, if I take speed as a variable, the equation will be 11,200. If I assume the original speed to be s, the time taken would be 11,200 by s minus the time taken at the new speed, that is 11,200 divided by s plus 100. Right? What are we doing? We are trying to calculate the original time and the new time. The difference of these two times should be 2. Now here the values are going to be still very large, okay? And the equation is going to be involving large values. So instead of assuming speed, you should assume original time. I'll show you how. Let's assume the original time is t. That means the original speed should be 11,200 divided by t. Now the new time should be t minus 2. Okay, so the new speed should be 11,200 upon t minus 2. The difference of new speed and the original speed, that is equal to 100, and you see 100 is common and cancelled. You see 11,200, 100 cancelled, 11,200, 100 cancelled, 100 cancelled. So we have 112 common, 1 upon t minus 2 minus 1 upon t equal to 1. So here we have to deal with smaller values, easier to factorize, and even the quadratic will be easier to solve. Okay, just simplify. So 112 into t minus t plus 2, so 2. The other side will be t minus 2 into t goes here, so it is t square minus 2t. Bring all of them to the same side, or you can still go ahead with the factorization. Okay, so this is t square minus 2t minus 2 to 4, that is equal to 0, 14 into 16. So t minus 16 into t plus 14, that is equal to 0. Negative time doesn't make any sense, so original time is 16 hours. Okay, so original speed is equal to 11,200 upon 16, and that is 700 kilometers per hour. Right? So the new speed will be, and then you know what to do. Once you get the speed, new speed will be 700 plus 350, that is 1050 kilometers per hour. And from there you can find the new time. New time would be 11,200. That we have already calculated, so I'm just repeating it. 1050, that is 10 2 by 3 hours. And not to forget, 6:30 is the original time of departure, 3 hours delayed, and then this much travel time. So final answer is going to be 8:10 p.m. So I suggest you go through the video once more. The first solution, that is definitely good because it helps you to save a little bit of time. It helps you to not get involved with the equations. And the second method is the detailed traditional method, but there the choice of variable becomes very important. Instead of taking speed, assume time, so that you have to deal with smaller values, and the calculation becomes a little simpler. Okay, now this question says, consider the equation log of x minus 2 to the base 5. Log of x minus 2 to the base 5 is equal to 2 log 2x minus 4 to the base 25. The first and the foremost condition, whenever you see log or modulus question, you should define the conditions. For example, here x minus 2 has to be positive. So x should be greater than 2. 2x minus 4 should be positive. Oh, that also gives us x greater than 2. Fantastic. Leave it as it is. Now, 25 is 5 square. The power 2 will come here outside in denominator. So 2 and 2 cancel, and it will become log of x minus 2 to the base 5 is equal to log of 2x minus 4 to the base 5. Right? So I'll just revise the rule for you. It is log of a to the base b to the power m what happens? This m comes outside. 1 by m log of a to the base b, right? So this, here it is 25 is 5 square, so 2 will come outside. So 2 divided by 2 gets cancelled out. Now you see log of base 5, this is x minus 2, this is 2x minus 4. Right, what does this tell us? This tells us simply x minus 2 is equal to 2x minus 4. Okay, and this gives us x equal to 2, whereas the x should be greater than 2. So this is invalid, as simple as plain and that, as that. There's another thing that you can do. You can write this 2x minus 4 as 2 into x minus 2, and you can separate it. How will you separate it? You can write this as log 2 to the base 5 plus log x minus 2 to the base 5. And the other side is log x minus 2 to the base 5. So this is cancelled. So that means if I cancel it, it will be 0 equal to log 2 to the base 5. That again is invalid. So whether you do this or you do this, in any case you see that this is an invalid situation. What does that mean? That means no value of x is possible for this. Question is, how many different values? All right, so 0 values. Question is, how many values of x? So no value of x, right? No value of x. So that means answer is option C, 0. Now this one is a standard question of arithmetic progression. In a school, the number of students in each class from 1 to 10 in that order are in an arithmetic progression. The total number of students from class 1 to 5 is twice the number of students from 6 to 10. So this also means that it is a decreasing arithmetic progression, but you don't have to worry about it. You just follow your process. What is the process? If I take the first term as a, second term will be a plus d, right? Fifth term will be a plus 4d. These are the first 5 terms. I would rather write all the terms here. The next 5 terms would be a plus 5d, and from there up to a plus 9d. So just to be very clear, this a plus 9d is 10th standard. Okay, this is 6th standard, right? This is 5th standard, and this is 1st standard. So if I add from 1st to 5th, a is going to come 5 times. I would rather write all of them in between. It is going to be a plus d, a plus 2d, and a plus 3d. That's it. So if you add all of these, it is 5a plus. Here we have d, 2d, 3d, 4d, that is 10d. This is equal to twice, right? The total number of students from 6 to 10. Watch it carefully. Again, here a plus 5d, a plus 6d, a plus 7d, a plus 8d, a plus 9d. So again, there as well we have 5a plus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The sum would be 35d, right? So sum of these 5 terms, twice of that is sum of these 5 terms. Right, that's it. Simplify. So 2 into 5 is 10a minus 5a, that is 5a, plus 35 to 2, 70, minus 10, that is 60, so plus 60d. That is equal to 0. Oh, so from here we get a equal to, if you cancel by 5, it is a plus 12d equal to 0, so a equal to minus 12d. We are not done yet. Hold on. It says the total number of students from class 1 to 4. 1 to 4, be careful. 1 to 4 means only this much. 1 to 4 only this much. So if you add 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, you get 4a plus d, 2d, 3d, that is 6d, and that is given equal to 462, right? And a itself is minus 12d. So 4a will be minus 48d. Check that carefully. Minus 12 into 4, minus 48. Right, plus 6d, and that is equal to 462. So we have minus 42d equal to 462. 42, 11 times 462, clearly visible. 4, 2, 4, 6, to 4 plus 2, 6, so 11 times. So and minus sign. So d equal to minus 11. D is minus 11. So a will be equal to minus 12 into minus 11, that is 132. So the value of a 132, value of d minus 11. The question is, how many students are there in class 6? Class 6 was a plus 5d. A plus 5d would mean 132 plus 5 into d is minus 11. 11 into 5 is 55. 132 minus 55 is equal to 77. Right? So the number of students in class 6 is going to be 77. Do we have that option? None of the remaining option. 93. Okay, option A, 77. Wherever it is, you know, it's XAT paper. Just read the question carefully, right? So in some sources you may find the options order different. Don't worry about that. You find the correct answer. In this situation, whatever is visible on your screen, 77 is the correct answer, option A. Now this question says a group of boys is practicing football in a rectangular ground. Raju and Ratan are standing at the two opposite midpoints of the two shorter sides. Rectangular ground, and these are the opposite shorter midpoints, right? Okay. Raju has the ball, who passes it to Rivu, who is standing somewhere on one of the longer sides. Okay. So Rivu is suppose here. So this is the situation, and then it comes back. Okay. Who passes it to Rivu, standing somewhere on the longer sides. Rivu holds the ball for 3 seconds and passes it to Ratan. Ratan holds the ball for 2 seconds, passes it back to Raju. The path of the ball from Raju to Rivu. Okay. So Raju, then Rivu, and then Ratan. Is that the correct order? Raju and Ratan. All right. Okay. Raju to Rivu makes a right angle with the path of the ball from Rivu to Ratan. So this angle is 90 degree. Wow. Nice. Fantastic. Okay. Path of the ball to Ratan. The speed of the ball whenever passed is always 10 meters per second. And the ball always moves on straight lines along the ground. Okay. Consider the following two additional piece of information. Dimension of the ground is 80 into 50. First statement. Second statement. The area of the triangle formed by Raju, Rivu and Ratan is 1000 square meters. So area of this triangle is given 1000 meters. All right. Consider the problem of computing the following. How many seconds does it take for Raju to get the ball back since he passed it to Ravi? Choose the correct option. One alone is sufficient. Oh, so this is a data sufficiency question. You don't have to solve the question. You have to see which statement would be sufficient. Out of these two, which would be sufficient. Now, what do I need to calculate the time? We need the speed and the distance. Speed is already given 10 meters per second. So we only need the length of Raju to Rivu and Rivu to Ratan. This length and this length. That's it. Once we get that, we'll be able to find. Because once we get these two, we can find this one by using Pythagoras theorem. So we'll be able to find everything. Okay. If I use the first statement, let's use the first statement alone. Remember the rule of data sufficiency? First you check both the statements alone, separately, one by one. So if I'm using this one, 50 into 80 or 80 into 50. So the longer side is 80. Shorter side is 50. So half of it will be 25, 25 because these are midpoints. So 25, 25. Okay. And then if I assume these two sides to be A and B, you have to understand that this line of joining midpoints will be parallel. So this is also 80. So we have A square plus B square. A square plus B square equal to 80 square, that is 6400. A square plus B square is 80 square, that is 6400. Right? Is there anything else that we can do? Okay. So A square plus B square is 6400. There's another thing that we can do. If I drop a perpendicular from here, and if I call this length as P, this P has to be equal to 25 first of all. And the second thing is, this is a perpendicular in a right angle triangle. So P should be equal to A into B divided by 80. And P should be equal to 25. Right? If you simply drop a perpendicular on this, okay, the length of perpendicular in a right angle triangle from right angle to the hypotenuse is equal to product of perpendicular sides divided by hypotenuse. Direct formula, so A into B by 80. So from here we get A into B equal to 80 into 25, that is 8, 25, 200, 2000. Oh, so that means if I want to find the area of this triangle, half into product of perpendicular sides, so that should be equal to 1000. Oh, so from the first statement only, we have been able to calculate this. That means the second statement is of no use. Second statement is the area of the triangle formed by this is 1000. So anyway, second statement is of no use because we already have it from the first statement. Okay. That means also that second statement alone would not help us to find the length and the breadth of the rectangular ground. Okay. That means second statement is completely of no use. Now from the first statement, can we find A and B? Yes. Look at this carefully. Now it is pure algebra and numbers. A square plus B square is 6400. A into B is 2000. So from here you can find A plus B whole square. How will you do that? I'll just show it to you. We don't need to calculate. A plus B whole square will be A square plus B square plus 2 times AB. That is 6400 plus 4000, that is 10,400. From here you get A plus B. Similarly, A minus B whole square, that will be equal to A square plus B square minus 2AB, and that will be 2400. From there you get A minus B. By solving them you can find A and B both. We don't need to. And anyways they are going to be some decimal number, so don't worry about it. We'll be able to find A and B. Once we are able to find A and B, we can find the time for each part. The time taken, travel time taken will be the distance A divided by 10, distance B divided by 10, and the distance AT divided by 10. Whatever is required, we can calculate from there. So first statement alone is sufficient. Second statement is not required. It's a repetition of something that we already could derive from the first one. So answer of the question will be 1 alone is sufficient to solve the problem. The problem was finding the time. So that can be done with the help of first statement. Only option A is the correct answer, and that's what you mark in the exam. Now this one is a very beautiful question of algebra, repeated many times in CAT and XAT both. It says FS food stall sells only chicken biryani. If FS fixes a selling price of rupees 160 per plate, 300 plates of biryani are sold. For each increase in the selling price by rupees 10 per plate, 10 fewer plates are sold. Okay. Similarly, for each decrease in the selling price of rupees 10 per plate, 10 more plates are sold. FS incurs a loss of cost of rupees 120 per plate of biryani. Okay, right. So what we have to do here is, if I assume that there are X instances of increase decrease, I mean, let's say if I increase the price, number of plates will decrease. If I increase the number of plates, the price will decrease, right? So if I assume that there are X instances of change, okay, so let's assume that we are increasing the price, so number of plates will decrease. Okay, so if I, let's say, increase price, you can take any one, that doesn't matter. Okay, increase price, then decrease the plates. So if there are X instances of change, in every one instance we are changing the price by 10 rupees and the plates also by 10. So what does that mean? After these X instances, the new price would be 160 plus 10x, and the number of plates would be 300 minus 10x, right? So the total amount collected would be, 160 plus 10x into 300 minus 10x. This is the total amount collected. But we don't have to bother about amount collected. Why? Because the cost is fixed. So let's focus only on the profit. What will be the profit of one plate? The price of one plate that we are selling at is 160 plus 10x. Cost is 120. So the profit, how do you calculate profit? Selling price minus cost price. So 160 plus 10x minus 120, that is 40 plus 10x. This is profit per plate into the number of plates. Number of plates is going to be the same, 300 minus 10x. Wow. We have to find the maximum value of this quadratic expression. Now I'll give you a very simple, unique thing. One way is that you open it, okay, and then you solve it. The other way is check the sum of these two. And that you should do whenever you have the opposite coefficient of x in both the expressions. In both the linear expression, the x should have opposite sign and the coefficient should be the same. If they are not same, you make it same by multiplying by something or dividing by something. In this case, it is already 10x, right? Now, what do I mean by multiplying or dividing? You could take 10 common, or you could multiply by 2 or divide by 2. So when you are multiplying by 2, outside divide by 2. When you are dividing by 2, outside multiply by 2, and so on. In this case, you don't need to do anything because already we have 10x here and minus 10x here. I'll just repeat the last point. Make sure that the coefficient of x here and the coefficient of x here are exactly same in the value but opposite in sign. Whenever that happens, what you have to do is, what you have to simply do is that you equate these two. Okay, so what happens? This gives us 40 plus 10x is equal to 300 minus 10x. So 20x is equal to 300 plus 40, that is 300 minus 40, that is 260. So x is equal to 13. Now if I put x equal to 13, what happens? Simply put x equal to 13, that will give us, for maximum value of product. Maximum value of product. What is the condition? Remember, for maximum value of product, simply equate them if the coefficient of x here and coefficient of x here are exactly same value and opposite in sign, simply equate them. There is another way of saying this. So either you get x equal to 13 from here and put it here. So you get 130 plus 40, that is 170. 300 minus 130, that is 170. So 170 into 170. There is one more way of doing this. The other way would be, once you have checked the coefficients of these two, simply add and divide by 2, you will get the value of each one of them. So if you simply add 40 plus 10x, 300 minus 10x, if you add you get 340, divide by 2 you get 170. So each one of them should be 170, 170. So that you can get by taking x equal to 13, or you simply add. See, addition will make sure that x is cancelled. We have already checked that the coefficient of x is same and opposite in sign. Okay, so that x will, the numerical, the variable part will get cancelled, will get constant, divide into two equal parts, 170, 170. So the maximum profit is simply equal to 170 into 170, and that is 17 square is 289, 0, 28,900. Check the options. Option C is the correct answer. Right, so here you can apply this logic in any situation of two linear factors getting multiplied. Condition सिर्फ एक है that the coefficient of x in both of them should be same in value, opposite in sign. If that happens, either you simply equate them, find the value of x, or you simply add them and divide by 2, you get the value of each one of them. Right? So the answer to this question, 28,900, option C. This one is a slightly tricky question, even though it is based on one of the most basic concepts of linear equations, checking solutions whether they are infinite or no solution or real solution, whatever. This is a very simple question. Let's try to understand this. Consider the system of two linear equations as follows: 3x plus 21y plus p equal to 0, qx plus ry minus 7 equal to 0. So I have already said two contradictory things already. What was that? I said that the question is very tricky, but I also said the question is easy because the concept required is very small. Tricky because of the statements and the question language. Okay, so be very careful. Which of the following statements definitely contradicts the fact that the lines represented by these two equations are coinciding? See, for the lines to be coinciding, it has to be the same equation. And if they are the same equation, the ratio of coefficient has to be exactly the same. So 3 by q should be equal to 21 by r should be equal to p upon minus 7. Write all possible relations that we can. Okay, so one thing is that q cannot be equal to 0. Q cannot be equal to 0 because it's in denominator. Q cannot be equal to 0, right? R cannot be equal to 0. We could have taken the reverse ratio, like q by 3 equal to r by 21 equal to minus 7 by p. So p also cannot be equal to 0, right? What else? If I cross multiply here, so 3 7 times, r equal to 7q. R equal to 7q. What I said was just take all possible situations, okay, for this to happen. Okay, then we have, if I take 3 by q equal to p by minus 7. So p into q is minus 21. If I take these two, what do I get? I get p into r as minus 147. What do I get to know from these? R and Q are of same sign. R and Q are of same sign. What else? P and Q are of opposite sign. Right? You can see that the product is negative. So opposite sign. Fantastic. Very good. P and R are also of opposite sign, of course. So these are the things that we can see from here. Now these are all statements which are not contradictory to this fact. We want to identify that statement which is definitely contradicting to the line representing coinciding lines. I repeat, listen to the words very carefully and read the question again. The question is asking us a situation, a statement which is definitely contradicting to these two equations being coinciding. These are all supporting coinciding. Okay? These are all supporting coinciding. So let's look at the options. P cannot be 0. P cannot be 0 is supporting. It will not contradict. So this cannot be the answer. Okay? P and Q must have opposite sign. P and Q must have opposite sign is supporting to this. Oh, so this also will not be the answer. We want contradiction to all of this. Okay? All right. The largest among PQR is Q. The largest among PQR is Q. Let's try to understand this. Largest among PQR is Q. You see, if I take P positive, then clearly Q and R are negative. So Q cannot be the largest. All right. So Q being largest will be contradiction to this. This is a possibility. Similarly, if I have P less than 0, then Q and R will be positive. But if Q and R are positive, then Q will be smaller than R. As you can see, R is 7 times Q. So in that case, R will be greater than Q. So whether it is this case or it is this case, Q cannot be the largest. Here P is positive, Q and R negative. So definitely Q is not the largest. When P is negative, in that case R is greater than Q. So there also Q is not the largest. All right. So क्या होना चाहिए था? Q is not the largest would be supporting this. Q is largest is definitely contradicting this. So this can be the answer. Okay? Right. Let's go ahead. Let's check the other statements. R and Q must have same sign. R and Q have same sign is supporting. So this cannot be the answer. Smallest among PQR is R. Smallest among PQR is R. In this case, when P is greater than 0, there R is less than 0. So R cannot be the largest, but it can be the smallest, right? But in this case, R is greater than Q. P is negative. So here definitely R is the largest. Oh. So this is sometimes true, sometimes not. So this also will not be the answer because we want definite contradiction. So the definite contradiction is option C. The largest among PQR is Q, whereas we have got Q is not the largest will support this. So Q is largest will contradict this, right? So that's the tricky part of this question. Answer is option C. Now this is a core question of numbers. Let's say King has distributed all his rare jewels in 3 boxes. The first box contains 1/3 of rare jewels, while the second box contains k by 5 of the rare jewels for some positive integer value of k. The third box contains 66 rare jewels. If I assume the total to be x, in the first one it will be x by 3. In the second one it will be k by 5 times x, k by 5 times x, or rather kx by 5. And the third one is 66. The sum of all these 3 should be x. So simply add. So x by 3 plus kx by 5 plus 66 is equal to x. So keep 66 because it is a number on one side, 66 on one side, then x minus x by 3, that is 2x by 3, minus kx by 5. Can we simplify that? Multiply by 15. So 15 into 66 is 990 is equal to 15 into 2x by 3 is 10x minus 15 into 5, 3kx. Okay, so what we have is x common, 10 minus 3k. Nice, right? So x is equal to 990 upon 10 minus 3k. Fantastic. Now, something is very clear from here itself. X has to be a positive number. So 10 minus 3k has to be positive because 990 is positive. Okay, so 10 minus 3k has to be greater than 0. It cannot be even equal to 0. So 10 is greater than 3k, or k is less than 10 by 3. Is less than 10 by 3. 10 by 3 is 3.33. So the values possible for k would be, k 0 doesn't make sense. So it has to be 1, 2, 3. And anyways, it is saying that k is a positive integer value. So max 1, 2, 3. That's it. K has to be 1, 2, and 3. Nice. So if I take k equal to 1, then x will be equal to 990 by 10 minus 3, that is 7. So 990 by 7 is not giving us, because 7 will not divide 990. X has to be an integer. Okay, so this is gone. So 1 is not possible. If I put k equal to 2, then x would be equal to 990 divided by 10 minus 6, right? 10 minus 3 into 2, that is 10 minus 6, that is 4. 990 by 4, 990 is not divisible by 4 as well. Fantastic. So 2 is also gone. So only one possibility left. Let's check it. K equal to 3, then x would be equal to 990 divided by 10 minus 9. 10 minus 3 into 3, 9, that is 1. So x is equal to 990. This is valid. So k is 3 and is the only value that is possible. What is the question? How many rare jewels does a king have? That is value of x. So only one value of x possible, that is 990 by 1, which is 990. Option D is the correct answer. So it was a nice question, right? Just using numbers, divisibility and so on. Okay. This looks like core algebra, but it's actually not algebra. It's pure numbers and factors and divisibility that we have to check. So answer to this question is option D, 990 for the given situation. Now this is another interesting question. It says a local restaurant has 16 vegetarian items and 9 non-vegetarian items in their menu. Some items contain gluten while the rest are gluten-free. One evening, Rohit and his friends went to the restaurant. They planned to choose 2 different vegetarian items and 3 different non-vegetarian items from the entire menu. Okay, so we have 16 vegetarian, 9 non-vegetarian. This has a few gluten and no gluten items. This has a few gluten and a few no gluten items. All right, we'll see to it. First, we talk about Rohit and his friends. They plan to choose 2 different vegetarian items. So 16C2 is the number of ways. Okay. And 3 different non-vegetarian items into 9C3. Nice. Entire menu. Later, Bella and her friends also went to the same restaurant. They plan to choose 2 different vegetarian items and 1 non-vegetarian item only from the gluten-free option, that is no gluten. So if I assume no gluten here is x, then this should be 16 minus x. And no gluten here is y, then this should be 9 minus y. Okay, so that means that x has to be less than 16, y has to be less than 9. That is 1 point. Less than or equal to. Okay, let it be. So I'll write here x less than equal to 16, y less than equal to 9. Let it be there. Now it says the number of item combination, that means the number of ways that Rohit and his friends could choose from, that is this one, given their plan was 12 times the number of item combination that Bella had to choose from. Now Bella had to choose from either x or y, no gluten. Just check it once more. They plan to choose 2 different vegetarian. So 2 different out of x. So XC2, right, into one non-vegetarian gluten-free, that is YC1. So Bella has chosen 2 items from here, 1 item from here. Rohit has chosen 2 items from here and 3 items from, 2 items from here and 3 items from here, right? Rohit did not bother about gluten. Bella is more conscious health-wise. Okay. These 2 calculations, so this value is equal to this value into 12. That's what you need to understand. Okay. Now here, again, use numbers. Use numbers judiciously. How will you do that? I'll just try to show it to you. 16C2 is 16 into 15 divided by 2. Into 9C3 is 987 divided by 321. Is equal to XC2 is x into x minus 1 divided by 2 into y into 12. Now watch it very carefully. 12 and 3 into 2, 6. 12 into 6 is 72, 9 into 8 is 72. So 9, 8 is completely cancelled by these items. This 2 is completely cancelled by these items. Now look at it very closely and carefully. I'll write it again for you. It is 16 into 15 into 7 is equal to x into x minus 1 into y. Look at it very slowly. You don't have to make quadratic equations or anything. X and x minus 1 are 2 consecutive integers. So try to identify 2 consecutive integers here. One possibility is clearly visible where x is 15, x minus 1 is, where x is 16 and x minus 1 is 15 and y is 7. Clearly visible. Is it valid? X is less than or equal to 16? That is valid. Y is less than or equal to 9? Absolutely valid. Is there any other case possible? Think about that. Is there any other case possible? Yes, of course. 7 into 2 is 14. Okay, 7 into 2 is 14 and 8 goes to the other side. Okay, so just interchange 2 from here and 7 from here. So I can write 15 into, this 15 intact, 7 into 2, 14 and the remaining 8. That can also be x into x minus 1 into y. Check that very carefully. So what we have done is we have reduced x. So y has increased, of course. If you have reduced x, x minus 1 will also reduce, y will increase. This is the second situation. Is this valid? Here x is 15, less than or equal to 16, yes. Y is 8. Just compare these two. Y is 8. Is it less than or equal to 9? Perfect, absolutely fine. Can there be any other situation? Can I have 13 into 12 here or 14 into 13 here? No, right? Look at that closely, because if this number cannot be divisible by 13, so 13 cannot be a factor. 11 cannot be a factor, and beyond that y will increase so much, y will be more than 9, right? So these are the only two possibilities. You cannot increase x, you cannot take 17 or 18 or 19 because x has to be less than or equal to 16. So this was anyways the ultimate case, the highest possibility for x. We kept reducing, the next possibility, instead of 15, 14, we can have 14, 13, but 13 is not present. How will you get it as a factor, right? 13 into 12, 13 is not present. 12 into 11, 11 is not present. Right? And beyond that, this y value will increase. So for example, I can see one value coming, let's say if I have 10, no, but 9 will also be not there. Yeah, so it is not possible at all. After this, it is not possible. One possibility, we can have 8 into 7. Think about it. But the value of y will become 30. Is that possible? No, y cannot go beyond 9. Right? So even if this is there as a number possibility, this case condition, it will not follow. So these are the only two cases that are possible. So I'll write both the cases, okay? I'll write one case in blue color. The one case that is in blue color is x equal to 16, y equal to 7, x equal to 16. This is already 16, sorry. The total is already there. X equal to 16. Y equal to 7. So 9 minus 7, that is 2, and 16 minus 16, that is 0. This is one possibility. The other possibility I'm going to write in some other color, let's say green. If I take x is 15, in that case y will be 8, 9 minus 8 will be 1, and 16 minus 15 will be 1. Right? What is the question? The question is, how many items contain gluten? The gluten items are 0 plus 2 or 1 plus 1. In any case, 0 plus 2 or 1 plus 1. In both the cases, the total is going to be 2 only. Wow. So the number of gluten items is 2, whether you take the first case or the second case. So answer to this question is option D, 2. That is the correct one. So this was a nice question. Not big calculations, just a little bit of factor numbers adjustment, right? 2 variables, degree 3 equation, so you cannot solve it, so you don't have to try even to solve it, right? So answer to the question, option D, 2. Now this is a very interesting, very basic question based on divisibility test of very basic numbers. Consider a 4-digit number of the form A, B, B, B. A, B, B, B. That is, the first digit is A and the last digits are all B. Last 3 digits are all B, okay? Which of the following conditions is both necessary and sufficient? Mark these words, necessary and sufficient. Sometimes it is, necessary but not sufficient. Sometimes it is sufficient and it is over necessary. Yeah, so something like that. Just be careful in reading the question to ensure that the 4-digit number is divisible by A. Now you see, A can be anything. A can be anything from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. This is a very nice situation. Now, I want this number to be divisible by each one of them. Then only we can say it is necessary and sufficient. Now look at this number. This number is actually equal to 1000A plus 100B plus 10B plus B. Now eventually you could have directly taken it as 1000A plus 111b. Now look at this closely. We want this number to be divisible by a. We want this number to be divisible by a. Now 1000a is definitely divisible by a. So that means 111b should be divisible by a. A is a one-digit number from 1 to 9. Don't forget that. Now 111b is actually 37 into 3b, and that should be divisible by a. Oh wow, that's it. So you see, if 3b is divisible by a, this product will be divisible by a, this sum will be divisible by a, and this number is divisible by a, and finished. That's it. You can check individually also. If a is 1, 3b or anything will be divisible by a. If a is 2, and then 3b is divisible by a, so b will be divisible by a. If a is 3, clearly just because of this 3. 4, again b should be divisible by 4. 5, b should be divisible by 5. 6, 3b should be divisible by 6. Now this is the tricky part. Try and understand. It's not necessary that b should be divisible by 6. Even if b is divisible by 2, 3b would be divisible by 6. Oh, you have to understand. 3b is more specific than b divisible by 6. Think about that. 3b is more beautiful than b divisible by 6, because if b is divisible by 6, then b has to be only 6. But if 3b is present, then I don't need, 6 is what? 3 into 2. 3 is already present. So even if b is divisible by 2, it is good enough for the number to be divisible by 6. So you don't have to take this larger condition. You can take a little more specific or a smaller condition, that is 3b is divisible by a. Same is the case with 7, 8 and 9 as well. 9 as well. 9 is what? 3 into 3. So I don't need b. I don't need b to be divisible by 9. I need 3b to be divisible by 9. So even if b is divisible by just 3, 3b will be divisible by 9. Okay? So you have to understand. b divisible by 6 is a bigger condition. 3b is a smaller condition. So more cases will be included in this. Smaller condition, more independence, more freedom, right? So we'll say 3b is divisible by a. So this gives us more independence and includes very clearly definite and sufficient and necessary. See, when I say b divisible by a, it is a sufficient situation, but it is not necessary. It is not necessary for b to be divisible by a. Even if 3b is divisible by a, it is good enough for the number to be divisible by any of these digits. Right? So answer is option E, 3b should be divisible by a. Now this is such a beautiful question based on the basic concept of LCM HCF. You see, LCM should be a multiple of all the numbers given. HCF should be a factor of all the numbers given, right? Here we say that the least common multiple of a number, let's say the number is x, LCM of x and 990, that is 6930. So 6930 should include 990 and x, both has a factor. Now if I break it as a multiple of 990, it is 990 into 7. See, it was supposed to be a multiple of 990, so it is. Now where does this 7 come from? Definitely this 7 would have come from x, right? So x has to be a multiple of 7. It can be any multiple of 7? No, it cannot be any multiple of 7. X can be 7 into any factor of 990, right? Any factor of 990. That is the idea. But we don't need to get into that much detail. This is good enough. X should be a multiple of 7. That's it. What if, this number is not a factor of 990? Then LCM will not remain 990 into 7. That is what you have to understand. Okay. Anyway, so we don't need this. We only need this much. That x has to be a multiple of 7. That is one part. Similarly, the greatest common divisor, that is HCF of the number and 550 is 110. So HCF of x and 550 is 110. Now HCF is a factor of both. So clearly x has to be a multiple of 110. Now what is the question? Just read carefully. It says, what is the sum of the digits of the least possible value of that number? So the least possible value of x, which is divisible by 110 and 7, will be simply LCM of 7 and 110, which is eventually 7 into 110, 770. So the sum of digits will be 7 plus 7 plus 0, that is 14. So answer of this question is 14. It's one of the easiest questions possible. Now this is a question that looks like a difficult one, right? There's a lot of effort that has gone into making sure that, but it is actually not very difficult. Let's look at this. It says It's a polynomial of degree 3, 2x cube minus 11x square, 2x cube minus 11x square plus 17x minus 16. Now this is a cubic polynomial, degree 3. So there will be 3 solutions. And the solutions are the radii of 3 concentric circles. Okay, fine. The ratio of their area when arranged from largest to smallest is. So what we need to find is the ratio of radii. If I am able to find the ratio of radii, squaring it will give us the ratio of area, because circle area is pi r square, pi is constant. So ratio of area will be equal to square of ratio of radii. So first let's find the radii. For that, find the roots of this. How do you find the roots? For cubic equation, use intuition method. For example, put x equal to 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. If I put x equal to 1, does it give us 0? We have to make it 0. From there, we'll be able to find the roots. If I put x equal to 1, then 2 plus 17 will be 19. 11 plus 16 is 27. 19 minus 27 cannot be 0. If I put x equal to 2, check it very honestly. 2 into 8, put x equal to 2. So 2 into 8, 16. 2 into 8, 16. Minus 11 into 4, 44. Plus 17 into 2, 34. Minus 16. Is that giving us anything? 17 into 2 is 34, 44. So 16 plus 34 is 50, and 17 into 2 is 34. Have I written it correctly? Yeah, I have written it wrong. What did I make mistake? Yeah, so this is situation. So 16 plus 34 is 50, and 44 and 6 is also 50. So 50 minus 50 is 0. So what does that mean? X equal to 2 satisfies this equation. That means x minus 2 is a factor, right? Now I know that x minus 2 is one factor. Try to extract x minus 2 from there. Try to extract x minus 2 from this. How do you do that? Very simple. Split the midterm, right? I want x minus 2 to get out. I want x minus 2 to get out. Here we have 2x cube. So the next term should be 4x square. So that when I take out 2x square, I get x minus 2. Now here it was 11x square, minus 11x square. Out of that, I already have minus 4x square. So I only need minus 7x square. See, this value will remain same. So I'm just splitting 11x square. So these two will give us x minus 2. Now from this one, if I have minus 7x square, so the next term should be, I have to make sure that I get x minus 2, right? And the first term is minus 7x square. So minus 7x into 2, that will become plus or minus 2, that is 14x. Check it very carefully. From these two, if you take out minus 7x, you'll get x minus 2. Okay, now the next part is 17x. Out of this, already 14x is here. So how much is remaining? 3x. See, automatically 3x minus 6, when you take out 3 common, you'll get x minus 2. So take 2x square common from here, you get x minus 2. Take minus 7x common from here, x minus 2. Plus 3 common from here, x minus 2. Or you can also use the division method, divide this whole expression by x minus 2. Whatever way you want, you can do it. X minus 2 common, and the remaining portion will be 2x square minus 7x plus 3, which itself is a factorizable quadratic expression. 2 into 3 is 6, 6 into 1 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Nice. So this will give us x minus 2 into 2x square minus 6x minus x plus 3. So we have x minus 3 into 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So the values of x will be, from x minus 2 we'll get 2, from x minus 3 we'll get 3. I am writing in the order of their size, and 2x minus 1 equal to 0 will give us 1 by 2. So the ratio of radii will be 3 is to 2 is to 1 by 2. Okay? So simplify this. Multiply the whole ratio by 2. So you get 3 into 2, 6 is to 4 is to 1. This is the ratio of radii. So the ratio of area is what? Remember, area is pi r square. So pi is anyways getting cancelled. We only need r square. So r square will be 36 is to 16 is to 1. 6 square, 4 square, 1 square. So this is the required ratio of areas. Question is, ratio of the area when arranged from largest to smallest is largest 36, 16 and 1. Check the options. 36, 16, 1. Option D is the correct answer. Right? This is another beautiful question of right angle, triangle, geometry, whatever you can call it, but actually it's a very easy, nice question. A farmer has a triangular plot of land, one side of the plot henceforth called the base, that is 300 feet long, and the other two sides are equal. The perpendicular distance from the corner of the plot where the two equal sides meet to the base is 200 feet. Okay. To counter the adverse effect of the climate change, the farmer wants to dig a circular pond. He plans that half of the circular area will be inside the triangular plot and the other half will be outside, which he will purchase at the market rate from his neighbor. The diameter of the circular plot is entirely contained on the base or in the base, and the circumference of the pond touches the two equal sides of the triangle from inside. It's a beautiful situation. You see, we want these two sides to be equal. So when I drop a perpendicular, it will divide the opposite side into two equal parts, which is 300. So this is 200. This is 200. No, I'm sorry. This is not 200. Wait a minute. This is not 200. The length of perpendicular is 200, right? And this entire length is 300. So when I drop a perpendicular and these two are equal sides, clearly it will be 150, 150. Isosceles triangle, when you drop a perpendicular from the point of intersection of equal side to the opposite, it will divide the side into two equal parts, so 150, 150. Now look at this. This is a right angle triangle. 200 in 150, that is 3:4. Watch it carefully. 3, 4. So this has to be 5. Now 3 into 50, 4 into 50. This has to be 5 into 50. That is 250. So one side 250, the other side also 250. All right. So we have the value of the side of that original triangle, right? So it's 250, 250 and 300. That is the situation. Now, what do I need? I need to draw a circle. How do I draw a circle? I'll just change the color to show it. When I draw a circle, I'll have to take this as the center and this length as the diameter. I don't know the radius, but this has to be the diameter. Now, when I draw a circle, it has to touch these two sides. I mean, even though it doesn't look like a circle, assume it is a circle, okay? This is the structure of the circle. In this circle, when I drop a perpendicular from center to tangent, this has to be the radius. Now, this is a right angle triangle. Now, look at this triangle again. This is the triangle in which we are dropping a perpendicular, okay? This length is 200, this length is 250, and this length is 150, right? So this perpendicular length, which is r, which is the radius of this circle, this r has to be equal to, in a right angle triangle, how do you calculate this perpendicular from right angle point? Product of perpendicular sides, 200 into 150, divide by the hypotenuse, that is 250, okay? So 53 times, 55 times, 540 times, 40 into 3, 120. So the radius of the circle is 120. Now you see, in this circle, this half is already included in his property. What is the extra part? The extra part is the other half, which is outside. Okay, this is the only thing that he needs to purchase. This is the only thing that he needs to purchase. So what is the required area to be purchased? Half of pi r square. And what is r? R is 120. This is the area to be purchased, right? Into the price per unit. Price per unit is rupees 1400 per square feet. All these values are in feet. So this is square feet into 1400. This is the total cost. Simplify very carefully. This 2 cancels 1400, 700. Pi is 22 by 7. So I'll write 22 by 7 into 2 cancels 1400, 700 times. 120 square is 14400 into 700, right? So 7 into 700, this cancels 100 times. Now multiply this 22 and 144 very carefully. So 288 into 11, 288 into 11 will be, 22 is 2 into 11, okay? So 2 into 144 is 288, 0, 0, 0, 0. So there will be 4 zeros. So what do we have? We have 11 into 288. Multiply carefully. 11 multiplication is always easier. So 8, 8 and 8, 16, 6. 1 carry, 8 into 10 and 1, 11, 2 and 1, 3. So 3, 1, 6, 8, 0, 0, 0. So here 0, here 0. So 3, 16, 80,000. 3, 16, 80,000. 3. Oh, there is only one option. So option A is the correct answer. Right? So just calculate carefully. Try to visualize the situation. It's a very normal, very simple question. The only thing important was in the beginning itself, these two sides are equal. So when you drop a perpendicular, it will divide the opposite side into two equal parts, right? So answer is 3,16,000, no, 3 crores 16,80,000, right? 3 crores 16,80,000 rupees. Now this is one of the most beautiful questions. It says, consider a right angle triangle ABC, right angled at B, two circles each of the radius R are drawn inside the triangle in such a way that one of them touches AB and BC while the other one touches AC and BC. The two circles also touch each other. See the image below, that is the image. AB equal to 18, BC equal to 24. So first of all, if AB is 18, BC is 24 and it is given right angle triangle, then this has to be 30. AC has to be 30, right? AC, this entire thing, AC has to be 30. Right? Now, very basic properties, very basic properties. From this center, join this center. This is the first thing that we do whenever we get two circles, join their centers. Now, this is tangent, so draw a perpendicular, this will be the radius, draw a perpendicular, this will be the radius, draw a perpendicular, this will be the radius, draw a perpendicular, this will be the radius. Okay? So, all these lengths are known. Now, look at it closely again. This entire length from here to here is r plus r plus r, 3r. So the remaining length will be 24 minus 3r. Now from C, there are two tangents which are coming out. The tangent from the same point, there will be two tangents and both of them will be of equal length. So if this length is 24 minus 3r, this length will also be 24 minus 3r. Right? Because this is perpendicular, tangent and radius are perpendicular. This is also perpendicular. So this is 24 minus 3r. This entire thing is 30. This entire thing is 30. So from here to here, what will be the length? 30 minus 24 minus 3r, that will be 6 plus 3r. Simply subtract 30 minus this whole item. So 30 minus 24 is 6, minus 3r will become plus 3r. So this length is 6 plus 3r. This length, the entire length is 18. This bottom length is r. So this length should be 18 minus r, right? That upper length has to be 18 minus r. Now comes the most interesting part. Look at the length, this one. Look at that blue line carefully. Okay. Can you see that blue line is actually the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle? If I give a name, this is M, this is N, and this is P. Look at the triangle AMP. In that it is the hypotenuse. Look at the triangle ANP. That also is the hypotenuse for that triangle. Okay? So what does that mean? That means for AMP, I am writing the hypotenuse length. That will be 18 minus r whole square plus r plus r plus r, 3r square. Right? Is equal to, from the other side, triangle ANP, the same hypotenuse length. How do I write it? AN square plus NP square, so 6 plus 3r whole square plus r square, right? And this becomes really interesting. Usually what people do is they open it. I suggest don't open it, okay? Take r square here and 3r square here. So what happens, I'll just show it to you. 18 minus r whole square minus r square equal to 6 plus 3r square minus 3r square. And then factorize a square minus b square. So a square minus b square becomes a minus b. So 18 minus r, that is 18 minus 2r. And a plus b, 18 minus r plus r, that will be 18. Wow. Here a square minus b square. So a minus b, 6 plus 3r minus 3r, that is 6. 6 plus 3r plus 3r, that is 6 plus 6r. And then when you see, it becomes extremely easy. You can take 2 common from here. So if you take 2 common, it will become 19 minus r. 2 goes outside, so 2 into 18, 36. Similarly here, 6 is already there. Take 6 common from here, so 6 into 6, 36. And inside we have 1 plus r. And you see, this 36 is also cancelled. So we have 19 minus r equal to 1 plus r. Sorry, I think I have written it wrong. It is not 19, it is 9. Yeah, 9 minus r is equal to 1 plus r. So what do you see? 8 equal to 2r. Oh, so r is equal to 4. So the calculation also is very easy. The understanding is also very easy. Basic rules we are following. Our basic rules are, whenever 2 circles are touching, join the centers. That is the first thing that we do. Whenever there are tangents, draw the perpendicular to the tangent. That will be the length of radius. Whenever there is a point outside, 2 tangents are drawn, both of the lengths should be equal. Identify those lengths and so on. Okay, so very easy, very interesting calculation also. We can complicate the calculation the way we want to, but yeah, we don't need to. It's a very simple, interesting question, right? The visualization is something that is new because usually we are habituated with one circle. This is a situation where there are two circles inside. We are very simply habituated with situations of, one circle, one triangle. Right? That's very easy, fantastically easy. But here we had two circles. So we still had to identify something which can be related for both the circles. So this line is relating those two circles, so to say, you can say not immediately, but yeah, indirectly they are related like that. So option D, 4 centimeter is the radius value. That is the correct answer.